final weekend of the baseball season is upon us. You want to talk about which team?
The San Diego Padres. And oh my God, I watched the game last night, Lee. They went 10 innings and they didn't score a run. And it was really frustrating. But I will say this, they're looking like they're going to be in good shape for the playoffs.
They're going to make the wild card spot. And the way this thing is structured right now, they're going to finish in the second wild card position. The issue is if the season ends the way it is in the standings at this hour, they're going to have to go play Atlanta. All 3 games in Atlanta, and Atlanta's having a spectacular season. But the one thing that's worked for the Padres is they're still getting a lot of quality starting pitching. Darvish is probably going to wind up with 17 wins, maybe 18 wins if he gets another start or 2 before they get to postseason play, and he has been the anchor. Blake Snell has pitched really well and has elevated himself to number 2. The only thing with Blake Snell is he's become a 5-inning pitcher. The last start, he threw 96 pitches in 5 innings, which is way too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Puts way too much pressure on your bullpen. Mike Clevinger's been really competitive. Won some games, has lost some games. His problem, like Snell, he's become a 5-inning pitcher. So the big issue for the Padres is where are they going to get any quality starts aside from Darvish and Joe Musgrove. Joe Musgrove, though, has only 2 wins in his last 17 starts dating back to before the All-Star game. Now, he goes out and he gives you everything he's got. And he does not have a lot of bad starts along the way, but he's not gotten the wins. He's probably had as many quality starts as Darvish, but he doesn't have a lot to show for it. So the Padres at the back end of their rotation going to postseason, they got an issue because Darvish can only make 1 start in the wild card round because it's a best-of-3 series. So they're going to have to manage the final series against the White Sox and then against the Giants. So Darvish is ready to go, and then Snell and Musgrove are ready to go. Can they hit? Remains to be seen. Manny Machado is going to hit 300. I don't see anybody else that's red hot. Hakim has really cooled off. Juan Soto had a horrible stretch, then went 7 for 15, but it's kind of drifted back. Still waiting for Will Myers to show up and bring some power to the plate. Cronenworth is hitting in the 240s. It just there's not a lot of offense there. So, this pitching has gotten them this wild card position. This pitching is going to have to win them a game or 2 in Atlanta. And remember, it's a best-of-3 series in the new format, and Atlanta gets all 3 of the games. And you look at Atlanta, how that team has come together, despite a chunk of injuries. And the fact that Freddie Freeman left and went to the Dodgers. Atlanta has the best wild card record in baseball, and they really cause you a lot of problems, especially there on that Braves field.
Yeah, well, I think there's a chance that the Braves might end up surpassing the Mets, right, and winning the NL East, excuse me. And then that kind of changes the whole complexion of the potential playoffs.
But does it? Because if you have to go to Citi Field in New York, that is Max Scherzer you're going to face.
And DeGrom.
And that is Jacob DeGrom,
right,
and whomever they throw out there for the 3rd game. And the Mets have pretty decent hitting. Here's a stat that'll blow you away. If we get to postseason, you really want to know this? The Padres in postseason since 1998 in a World Series, 3-14. 3-14. And overall in the history of the franchise, the Padres are 14-26 in postseason games. So there's not a great track record there, and this is not a great offensive baseball team. Be fascinating to see what happens, but we got the final 6 games of the regular season as they finish up this Dodgers series, and then they got to get their pitching staff, the Ducks, in order. And that guy, Darvish, and I'd give him the ball first game of every series because I just think he's, even at age 34, 35, 36, still think he's more reliable than anybody else.
Yeah, no question about it.